Hi there, it's a new week, it's a new yarn dyeing week, and this time I have decided I'm going to try to dye on bouclé. I've never done that before. I suspect it will be pretty much the same as dyeing on, say, superwash merino, but we'll find out. So what I did, I just simply bought 2 balls of bouclé yarn and used my niddy noddy to make dyeable skeins hanks from it. Now, these are 50 grams each. I got 2 of them. But the thing is, when I use the smaller yarn weights, like 20 grams or 50 grams, I will use my small, shorter niddy noddy, which is a smaller circumference. But what I found was that when winding all of this, can you see the quality of it? When attempting to make a skein from this, hello, camera, okay. It just got very, very dense. If you can imagine, about twice the thickness. And in a skein going like so, I figured it would be kind of hard to get the yarn dyes to penetrate all the way through. Because I think I want to try to dye this in one color, or maybe one color and then speckle something on top. So I decided to change it and use my large niddy noddy, the same one that I use for to make 100 gram skeins. And as you can see, this looks a lot better, and I think this will be way easier to dye properly. So that's what we're doing today. But first of all, you know the drill. Let's soak the yarn. Time to soak the yarn. I have added my reusable zip ties, one to each skein. Got my small soaking tub, which should be fine for this one. I usually only use 2 liters, 1 measuring cup for 250 gram skeins, but I don't know how much water this will soak up, and also it's quite fluffy, so I'm just going to go, just going to go for 4 liters this time. Doesn't really matter. I'm adding about a tablespoon of citric acid to the tub, and we're adding in our water. Remember to use cold water for this. There we go. And we are putting in our skeins as well. And I'm just gonna plop them in there. And I'm pushing them down into the water to help it soak up water and get wet all the way through. Oh, this soaked up water really well. It's instantly soaked. Nevertheless, I am going to let it sit for about half an hour before I start dyeing on it to make sure there is no dry parts of yarn in it. Let's get some dye on this yarn. I have my dye tray here, old empty yogurt container with cold water and a spoon that I'm going to use to just poke the yarn while dyeing. Some gloves. Got my mask to protect my airways. Always wear that when you're working with these fine dyes. Teaspoon for grabbing the dye, and we will be working with Jacquard as a dyes in the color Periwinkle. And the reason I chose Periwinkle is, well, I like the word, to be honest. That's why. I think it's such a funny word. So, yeah. Periwinkle it is. I have got my little whisker here to make sure the dye dissolves in the water, and I've added about 400 milliliter of cold water in my measuring cup. So I'm going to mix the dye in that. Move things over here so you can see what I'm doing. First of all, mask on, of course. And then Let's grab some dye. Look at that. Can you see that? That is a very pretty purple. Now, I haven't used this particular dye or colorway before, so I'm not sure how powerful it is, but I'm gonna go with that, which is a little over a quarter, maybe a third of a teaspoon. We'll add that in and whisk it. And once all the dye is dissolved, ooh, that is pretty. Can you see that? We will add in more water. I think I will be good with just 2 liters of water. Sorry about the background noise here. I just need to rinse the whisker. Oh, it breaks in red. Can you see that? It breaks in red. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna add some more cold water to this and fill up that cup. We will be working with 2 liters of dye stock. I think that's enough. I'm going to add a little bit more citric acid to the dye pot. I do have some in the soaking water as well. Don't really need to do double up like this, but I like to do it. And yeah, let me transfer these skeins over to the pan here. I'm just going to squeeze the water out of them and put them in the tray here, and we'll get started on the dyeing. Yarn has been transferred to the pan, and I have added more water to the measuring cup. We have a full 2 liters here now. So I'm just gonna add that in here. Oh, look at that color. Why haven't I used Periwinkle before? Because aside from the absolute darling name, it's a beautiful color. Wow. Definitely a new favorite of mine. Turning on the heat here. I'm turning on the fan as well. And I'm just going to squeeze this down since I'm only doing one color. Oh, I am very happy with my choices today. Look at that. My oh my. This is also going to be really quick. We don't have a lot of water. It's a small pan. It's a small amount of yarn. This should heat up in no time. Oh, periwinkle, periwinkle. Love that word. Do you have a favorite word in English? My absolute favorite word in English is the word haberdashery. I think that's just, I don't know, it's everything. But periwinkle, you are right up there. Both color-wise and as a word. Alright, I'm going to heat up the pan and get back to you. I'm poking the yarn while it's heating up, just to make sure the dye gets in everywhere and that I don't have a lot of white spots. Always be careful when you do this, especially when the yarn starts getting warm, because you don't want the agitation to result in the yarn felting. That is so pretty. Love it. All right, let's continue heat it up, and I will be back in a second. The yarn is heated up, and I can just set it aside to cool now. But first of all, do you know what this looks like to me? Mermaid hair. I think I need to design a mermaid with this color hair. Love it. Absolutely adore this color. And like I said, it is the water is hot now, the yarn is hot, so I can just turn off the heat and we can set it aside to cool and let it cool completely before we rinse it so we don't shock the yarn and destroy it. That's it. Quick and easy project this week, but ooh, what a result. Not only do I love the word periwinkle, I do love the color as well. Gorgeous. Alright, I'm gonna set it aside, let it cool, and I'll get back to you when it's time to rinse it. Ready to rinse. And I can tell that all the dye has exhausted completely. Can you see that? The water is clear. I'm just going to squeeze out some excess water. There we go. And the second one, and I'm only squeezing, not wringing the yarn. Like so. Set that aside, and I'm going to use my small soaking tub to just catch the yarn after rinsing it. And now I'm just dunking it. I've got cold water here in my rinsing tub, and I'm using soak as well. You don't need to use soak, you can use dish soap, shampoo, whatever. I like this one. I do have the smaller bottles in the web shop if you're interested. But like I said, it's absolutely not necessary. Like so. And again, I just squeeze out the water. Now with soak, you only need to rinse once. You don't have to do it again. I will, however, just because that's what I prefer. If you use dish soap or shampoo, you may have to rinse 1 or 2 times more to get it all out. Oh, look at that. Who knew periwinkle was such a beautiful color? There we go. So, like I said, I'm going to rinse the yarn once more, and then we'll hang it to dry. We got a finished object. Well, 2 of them actually. Here they are. I love that color. And like I said, this is, I don't know, mermaid hair to me. I'm sorry, I got some shadows coming on here, but beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if you know this, but I do make knitting patterns. I am doing a lot of like teddy bears and cats and rabbits and all the things. And I do have a long list of things that I want to do, even like imaginary creatures such as a mermaid. So, you know, this looks like mermaid's hair, and it's going to be a mermaid's hair for sure. Yeah, I need to get my hands on some more bouclé and dye some different colors as well. Maybe some pink, some chartreuse. There's going to be a lot of mermaids. Anyhow, very happy with this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Very easy to dye as well. So, yeah, that's it for this week. I'll see you next time. Bye.
You got me feeling good, right about your side. Lost in every move, writing down your smile. Baby, hold me tight, let me trace your lies. Keep it low, cause you're dropping it down.